Hello my lovelies, this is your favorite girl Katie. I hope that this video meets you well. Today I welcome you to another session of Grow with Katie. If we haven't met before, I welcome you. Thank you so much for stopping by. The Lord bless you. If you have met before and you've seen this face on your screen, I want to say thank you. If you've liked, shared and subscribed this video or anyone on my channel, I'm so super grateful. You are just amazing, and I'm here, remember, because you are here, so I am not taking your support for granted. In today's live video, I'm going to be sharing with you 5 tips on how we can deal with depression. Depression, unfortunately and sadly so, is one of the many realities that a lot of people have to battle with day in, day out, unfortunately so. But more so, a very pertinent part of our mental health. Why? Because it can literally affect our day-to-day functioning. When you don't manage how your feelings and how things, situations and circumstances that could be facing you or that you could be facing as you journey through life, and if you end up feeling a little depressed or battling with severe depression or mild, whatever state you are in, if it's not well handled, you can quickly realize how much your whole life can just go down the drain. So in today's video, I'm hoping that someone will be able to pick up these few tips and try and, work it out for themselves. Or if you've tried these tips before, or if you haven't, or if you've battled with depression like I have, and you're happy to share some of your tips in the comment section, then please, I'll be happy to read from you as well. Tip number 1, recognizing your feelings. It's very important, and I think a very crucial thing to be able to do, because a lot of people are depressed and they don't even know that they are depressed. So recognizing your feeling is key in the, in then making decisions in the direction that would be suitable for whatever your needs would likely be, because everyone is different, you see, and everyone experiences depression in different ways, because no two people are the same. Everyone is unique, everyone is different, and so can process things differently. For example, you might want to ask yourself, if you start crying a bit too much, for example, someone like me, when I was diagnosed with severe depression, some of the things that made me to think, this is not normal here. Generally, I'm a very emotional person. I can be quite, teary. By that I mean, I can be easily moved to tears. But then I realized that I started crying a bit too much, so every little thing would make me cry. I became very touchy-feely. So you have to recognize how you're feeling and what is it that is different. What has shifted in the way that you're feeling. Some people end up maybe eating too much. Some people comfort eat. Some people just drown their thoughts and eat and eat and eat. Some people try and want the negative feelings to just disappear, so they try all manner of things. Some people even go into misusing drug and alcohol, which is usually, a very sad road to take. Why? Because we do know that drug and alcohol misuse can have a very detrimental effect to our mental health. And for someone that's already struggling with their mood in particular, that's the last thing that you want to do. So ask yourself a few questions. What is out of place? What has shifted in the way that you normally feel a bit sad? Everyone feels a bit sad every now and then. Everyone has a low mood or a bad day every now and then. But when it's something that becomes continuous, it's something to not take lightly. So you have to recognize your feeling, because it helps you identify what has shifted. It helps you identify what has changed. It helps you identify the root cause. You can realize that sometimes it could be maybe after a breakup. It could be after a period of stress at work. It could be after you lost a child or lost a loved one. So it helps us to just kind of do a bit of mapping, if you like, in terms of when did this all start? When did I start feeling like this? Is there a particular event? And sometimes it might be really nothing. You can just be feeling that way, because that's what sometimes our mental health can do to us. So tip number 2, don't isolate yourself. So if you start realizing that you're isolating yourself a bit more, because depression makes you want to hide. I remember those days 2 years ago when I was severely depressed. I didn't want to go anywhere, didn't want to talk to nobody, wouldn't pick up my phone calls, would put my phone on silent, people couldn't reach me. So you have the tendency of isolating yourself. If you realize that that's not who you were, and all of a sudden you don't want to go out, you don't want to meet friends, you don't want to meet colleagues, you don't want to meet nobody, if you have the tendency of hiding away, then that could be a sign that you have started to feel depressed, especially if it's out of order in terms of how you used to be, in terms of your personality or who you are. Tip number 3 on how you can deal with depression is that have a support network, even if it's one. It's not news that depression in in some communities, in some societies, especially ethnic minorities, is still something that still has a lot of prejudice around it, still has a lot of stereotypes around it. People still shame it and just kind of make it look a bit weird, and they go, oh, you're not the only one going through stuff, you're not the only one going through this, how can you be depressed? So it's still that kind of culture of shame, and people are still not able to face people and talk to them about how you're feeling. But that should not be so. Let us break the stigma, break the silence of biases and on helpful judgment, and just allow people to own their journey, allow people to own their pain, and give them the headspace that they need to process things at their own pace. Everyone is different. You might have gone through your own breakup, for example, and maybe you snapped out of it in 6 months. Some people just never snap out of it at all. So I think people should be given the opportunity to process things in the way that is best for them and in a way that sits well with their mental health. So don't isolate yourself. Don't isolate yourself. Have even one person that you can trust, one person that you can talk to. It could even be a manager at work if you're in employment. It could be someone at church if you're someone who goes to church. It could be someone in the community. It could even be a counselor, just anyone. There are a lot of befriending services. If you live in the UK, a lot of online counseling going on as well, and befriending services, sometimes on the phone, just someone you can talk to. You don't want to buckle up all those feelings, because you can end up buckling up and it always just spiral into one thing or another. It's very important you find someone to talk to, because it has a way of de-stressing and decluttering your mind in general. Tip number 4, you want to make sure that you look into your lifestyle and see what you can change. A lot of the times, it could even be by starting, if you're in good health, start by maybe going for a walk. You can go for a walk. You can just go to the park, clear your head. It could be for someone who likes exercise. You could start by, exercising so that you feel a little bit tired through the day, and then it just might help through the night. Because we do know as well that when you're feeling depressed in the nighttime, when you settle down to sleep, your thoughts are racing. And so you end up not sleeping. The following day, it's like a vicious circle. So when you cannot sleep, it doesn't help in your mood as well. So where possible, make those little changes. Tip number 5, after you've done all these things, learn to be kind to yourself. Why? Because you deserve it. You deserve the good things of life. Why not? Do the things that you like. Do the things that you like. That's what I mean by being kind to you. For some people, they just like to wake up in the morning, have a good shower, wash their hair, brush their hair, put a little gloss on. Just do whatever you like. It could be maybe treating yourself take yourself out, have a little treat. You could go out and watch a movie. Just anything that you like, but never get to the point where you think, I don't deserve anything good, because that's what depression does. It lies to you. It makes you feel not good enough. It makes you feel unworthy, but you are not unworthy. You are beautiful and you are deserving of every good thing in life. So I really do hope that you try out these tips. Keep an eye on these things. If you try all these things and you still don't feel better in yourself, please by all means seek medical advice. Again, sometimes people need to be on medication for a little while before they start to feel better. Sometimes people start being on medication and then they find out ways of dealing with things themselves. Again, as I said, it could be just adjusting these little things. It could be understanding your triggers as well. And sometimes people need time to process things, you see. So being on medication is not a bad thing. I was prescribed medication as well when I was diagnosed with severe depression, but today I don't have to take any medication. Why? Because I'm learning how to master my feelings. I'm learning to understand the triggers. I'm learning to know when my bucket is getting too full so that I can kind of put some holes under to deflate take that bucket. So it just kind of gave me a headspace to understand my emotions, process things, and understand my mental health that is very unique and peculiar to me as a person. So being on medication is not a thing of shame. There's nothing to be ashamed about. If for anything it helps you for the time that you need it, we all need help every now and then. You might not need help for your mental health, but you might need help for something else. Go for counseling if you need to. Start that medication if you need to. And then as time goes on, you can master these things, master yourself. And then as you learn to be kind to yourself, I really do hope that you can have a meaningful life, thrive, and be all that God has made you to be. And I hope that I'll see you in my next video. Till then, please do like this video, share, and you want to make sure that you click on that notification button as well, so that each time I upload a video on Grow with Katie, you will be the first to know. Until my next video, look after yourself, love yourself, and remember, be kind to you.